The Wavewatcher's Companion by Gavin Pretor-Pinney, I'm guessing. Got this book as a gift a few years ago. It was shortlisted for one of the science prizes that that Britain puts out for British writers of general science, or science for a general audience. I loved this book. This was so interesting to me. It was a little bit challenging. I could imagine that people who didn't really want to get into it might not love it, but I really loved it. Here's the spine. I think back then it was called the Winton Prize, but now I just think it's called the Royal Prize, something like that. Maybe back then it was different. Okay, the Wavewatcher's Companion. The idea here is that it is about waves, so that includes waves on the ocean. And to me, it's interesting even just talking about how the waves get started and just a little bit of wind and then a little bit more wind and what actually causes these waves. But it also talks about waves through the rest of the universe, not just water, but radio waves, sound waves, and there are more waves and things that act like waves than you might think about or that you might know about. This little guy is saying, "Are you on my wavelength?" That is not what the book is about. Okay, so here's a little field guide. There are illustrations throughout to make it a little bit more easy what he's talking about. This is sound waves. This is an electron showing an electron microscope. Talking about the electron microscope and how it works. To me, it's so interesting. I don't know. I just really loved this book. I found it absolutely fascinating. There were moments in it when I had to really stop and think about it and try to understand what he was saying. So it's not completely simple. Yeah, it's like a wave of people that sweeps around the stadium. X-ray scanners. You get the idea. It's illustrated, it's helpful. The illustrations are helpful. You'll need them, or you'll want them when you read this book. Cloud reflections. I'm not sure what he's talking about at that moment. In any case, I can recommend it. It's a pretty cool book, nonfiction, if you're interested in the science of it at all. If you're not interested in the science of it, I don't recommend this book. It's not just like, hey, aren't waves cool? It really does get into the physics of it somewhat. You're not going to have to know equations or anything, but it does get deep up until that point. All right. Gavin Pretor-Pinney, The Wavewatcher's Companion.